All right, everybody, thank you so much for hopping on tonight. We are kicking off week 4 of our Take Action Academy. So first of all, you guys, I just want to do a recap of weeks 1 through 3. And as we're doing this, you guys, I'm not going to go over all the same info. Obviously, those of you who are on here, you've been here. But what I do want to do as we just recap some of those topics is really do some self-evaluation, right? This is your opportunity to do a self-check and just really see, like, have I been following through on, what we've been talking about? Have I been applying this? And you guys, that's really where the magic happens, right? You can hop on all the training calls and things like that, but if you don't take action around the topics that we discuss or implement these things, then you're not going to see a change in your business, right? All the knowledge in the world won't do you good in growing your business until you start applying it, because that is truly where the magic happens, okay? So quick recap, you guys, and remember, self-check, right? So daily tracker, who has been using this and who has seen how it's helped them stay organized, stay accountable. I know I personally have been utilizing this so much, and it has been phenomenal for me just to know, like, okay, these are the numbers I put down for my goals. Have I met those, right? If I haven't met those by the time the kids go to bed, then I know I'm going to be working for another hour, right? Because I haven't met my goals yet for the day. And it's helped me keep myself super accountable as well. Just doing that on a daily basis, because we know in this business, consistency is key, right? Mastering the mundane seems super simple, super boring maybe even. But if you master that, you guys, that is truly where the magic happens, right? Master the mundane is no different than anything sports, right? You play a sport, you're constantly doing the fundamentals over and over and over again. You're practicing those things over and over again, doing many of the same drills over and over again, because that's really where you become great, right? So same holds true in network marketing. It's the daily income producing activities done over and over and over again on a consistent basis is when the magic happens in your business and the growth you'll experience in your business. Okay, so daily tracker, are you using it? Have you been as faithful to using that as you'd like to? If not, you guys, this is your opportunity to really finish out this next week with a bang, right? Print off that daily tracker, get those numbers down, and hold yourself accountable. Maybe it's even setting a timer, like scheduling it into your day, right? You've got a crazy week. You're here, you're there, you're all over the place. So when are you going to be doing that? So schedule it in, and that's when you're going to be working it and filling in those numbers on your tracker. All right, so your list, right? We talked about how when you're working this business, you're always working off your list, right? Names of people who you're going to be reaching out to about this. So I know if some of you are brand new, we asked you to create a list, and I hope your list had more names on it than my initial list did. I think I had like 8 people on my first list for many reasons, but honestly, you guys, you should have a list that is never ending. It's constantly growing. Should have well over 100 names on it. And so I want to have you self-check on that too, right? So when you created your list, or you redid your list, or you added to your list at the beginning of this Take Action Academy, have you been adding names to that list since we started this, right? We should all be saying yes. If we haven't been, then that means we need to do a better job of connecting, right? Getting out there, connecting with new people, and being more aware, right? So that was our next topic. We talked about connecting with people, how to do that, right? So another self-check. How have you been doing with connecting with new people in your everyday environment, right? Whether it's on the Metro Transit on your way to work, whether it's at the grocery store, at your fitness class, at your gym, are you being more approachable, right? Because that's honestly, guys, that's how you make new connections in your everyday life, right? So are you smiling? Are you your face buried in your phone at every free second, right? If you are, you're missing opportunities to make real real life connections with new people, okay? So do you smile? Do you make eye contact with somebody? Do you say hello? And you know what, it was so funny. I was doing a call for another team, and they were asking me all these questions, right? And they were telling me things that they had been doing to step outside their comfort zone. And one lady said, oh my gosh, it was so out of my comfort zone. I went up and struck up a conversation with somebody at the gym, and it was so awkward at first, but then it, you know, the more we talked, the more natural it became, and, you know, they found some common ground. And that's how it happens, you guys, because you're not familiar, you're not comfortable doing it. It might not feel good the first time you do, but the more you do it, you'll be so shocked at how, regardless of whether these are Isagenix connections or not, it feels good to make real connections with real people in everyday life, okay? So are you approachable? Are you smiling? Are you saying hello? Are you putting yourself in new situations where you can meet new people, right? Maybe it's trying a new fitness class. Maybe it is going to a new gym. Maybe it is, you know, grocery shopping, whatever, right? What are you doing? Going to the dog park. What are you doing to put yourself in new situations where you can meet new people? All right. The next one, when we talked about connecting, you guys, is how important it is to not verbal vomit, right? We get so excited. We're waiting for that perfect opportunity to share Isagenix with people. And a lot of times, right, we get a little overeager and we find ourselves talking way too much, right? So a little self-check for you. If you can think back to some of your conversations, you know, this past week or the past month, you know, let's just do the past week, right? So maybe it's Isagenix, maybe it's not Isagenix, but if you think about those conversations, how often were you asking questions to the person you were talking to, or were you doing the majority of the talking, right? So ask yourself that. And it's okay, right? This is a learning curve. It's a growth thing. But if you are talking like 90% of the time, then chances are you really need to work on your listening skills, right? Because it's so much more important to be interested in people and to take a genuine interest in them than to be so focused on being interesting, right? So that's really how you're going to make new connections with people, is when you ask genuine questions, you take a genuine interest in their answers, you hear about their life, their struggles, their situation, and that's really when you open up opportunities to share the gift of Isagenix, because you're learning all about them. You're learning about their lifestyle, their work, you know, their day-to-day chaos, whatever, and you're like, oh my gosh, light bulbs going on, because you're truly listening, and you're like, they can use this in so many ways, right? If we do the majority of the talking, we're missing out on that. All right, so listen, self-check, right? Check on your next conversation, right? If you have a tendency to dominate conversations with talk, try it, right? Sit back a little bit, ask good questions, and just listen, right? And you'll be shocked at how much more you learn about the people that you're coming in contact with and trying to connect with. All right, so all right, reaching out to people, right? This is one of the things that I know, especially for new people. How many of you have been reaching out to new people? If you're doing your daily tracker, you should be doing this every single day, right? And I know that that's what holds a lot of people back, because they're like, oh, I don't know what to say. I don't know, you know, I don't want to be over the top, but I want to, you know, whatever. And that's one of the things, is when people aren't sure of what to do, it holds them back from taking action in general, right? So what have you been doing? What's been working? What's not working? You guys, this is a learning process, and the best way, I mean, we talked about some examples. I posted a document under the files tab in this group. So if you're still struggling with this one, take a look at that document after this call and try implementing some of those things, right? There's a number of different examples. So find one that sounds authentic, that sounds real to you, tweak it to make it your own. But that's what those are for, you guys, is so you can see what, like, you know, a typical dialogue might look like, okay? So when you're reaching out to people, what's been working for you, what hasn't been? I know personally for me, early on when I would reach out to people, I would like write them a novel about like, hey, you know, like I'd connect, but then I would tell them like way too much about Isagenix, my experience, why I'm excited about it. And you just want to keep it short, keep it concise, but intrigue them, generate some interest, because, you know, you don't want to like verbal vomit your experience with them, but you want to generate some interest. So they want to ask you what you've been doing. And then that's your opportunity to maybe hop on the phone with them, have a genuine, real conversation with them so you can share that and make it more interactive, right? So for me personally, when I've been reaching out to people, and I keep it more brief, I keep it short, I connect, but I say, hey, I'd love to chat with you about an opportunity. I think it might align well with what you've got going on, you know, whatever. That's really when I've really started some conversations. I've gotten responses back. So take a look at what you've been doing. Is it working for you? What's not working for you? If you're struggling with that and you're saying, okay, this is what I've been doing, feel free, you guys, to post that in our Facebook group, our Take Action Academy Facebook group, because we can help weigh in on that, right? And that's what this is for, you guys. We are all here to support each other. We're on this journey together. We want each other to be successful. So if you're struggling with that, you know, maybe give an example of what you've been sending to people and ask for feedback. You know, what might you say differently, or what would you do differently here? Okay, that's what we're here for. Self-check launch parties, right? We talked about this. How many of you have had a launch party or have one scheduled and that's upcoming in the next week or two, right? Because I know all of us were supposed to have at least one scheduled for this month, right? How are they going for you guys? This honestly is what Ryan and I built our business on. We're launch parties. Early on, they were small, right? They were more intimate, more personal as we started growing our team. And, you know, we did use the power of social media to grow our team. But as we did that, you guys, then we would say, we talked to some of those people who really wanted this, right? They wanted this opportunity. They wanted to go after it. We'd say, hey, we're coming to your town this date. Does it work for you? Get people there, right? And they would just like, you know, invite people there. And even better yet, you know, if you have Christy next Tuesday, yay, glad you have your launch party scheduled. But you guys, those are so important because people can feel your passion. They can see your excitement. You're sharing your story. And they're just such a great way to build on this. I know I personally have done at least, 15 launch parties since New Year kickoff. So that was the mid-January when we went to New Year kickoff. So I've done a lot of launch parties. Some have been virtual because I'm doing them for people who are in other parts of the country. But you guys, they're so great. I promise you, the more you do them, the more comfortable you get. If you haven't had one yet or you don't really know how to do it, I know we talked a little bit about that, but post that as well in this academy, in this Take Action Academy, you guys, and we can get a thread going on best practices for launch parties, okay? Everyone can weigh in. You can post your pictures from your launch parties in there, okay? So I would love that. If this is something that you still don't feel comfortable with or you're struggling with, please post that in there and we can all weigh in on what we have found that has worked well for us, things that we, you know, didn't work well. And then you guys will feel so much more confident when we can generate some of that best practices, okay? So if you would, you know, see benefit in that, holler, you know, in the Facebook group or on here, we can get that thread going in there. Okay. Three-way calls, you guys. How many of you are using these, right? This is one of the most underutilized tools that there is, right? So the power of three-way call, you guys, is, I mean, it's unbelievable, okay? So basically what a three-way call is for, I know we talked about this last week, but this is that third-party validation, which is so powerful, right? So maybe you're talking to a prospect and you're like, oh my gosh, they are a mom. I am not a mom, or, you know, I'm not a female, and I think she would really resonate with, you know, you, Heidi. Would you be willing to do a three-way call? Absolutely, right? Let's, and then you just tell them, I would love to connect you with so-and-so, and this is why you would love her. You know, here's a little bit about her. This is why you would want to talk to her, okay? You edify that person. And then you get them on there before the three-way call happens. They have seen a tool, right? They know what this three-way call is all about. They've learned. The tool that we always use, we send our 10-minute webinar because we want them to have an understanding about what Isagenix is, what some of the key products are, what some of the systems are, so that they already are thinking about, okay, if I were to implement this, this is what it might look like for me. But the three-way call is for them to ask any of those, lingering questions they might have. Just, get that extra third-party validation, feel good about it, and it's really kind of a closing call, okay? So just be prepared. That's one of the biggest things that I've seen with three-way calls is, people come on and they're not ready to close, right? So I try to help direct it that way. But again, this is your contact if you're bringing them on. So just know that at the end of that, and it's your excitement, you guys, say, hey, if you're ready, let's get you set up. I'm so excited. You're going to love this. Just pour that positive energy into them and they're going to be ready to do it. Okay. So if for some reason they aren't ready at that moment, that is when you can say, hey, I can send you this actually, if they need another tool, that's okay. Right. But before you hop off that call, you have locked down your follow-up phone call, your follow-up conversation. So you know exactly when that's taking place. So there's no gray area there, okay? So if it's not going to be a close that day, you are locking down the follow-up, all right, when you're going to be following up with them. And that is so nice for you and it's so nice for them, right? It's not pushy because it's saying, okay, I'm going to send you this tool because you asked for this information, but when's a good time for me to follow up and, see what you thought of that and see if you had any other questions or if you're ready to get started. Because maybe they have a crazy busy week and they're like, oh, I know I'm not going to have time tomorrow night because we've got our son or daughter's activities, but, Wednesday night would be good. Or, so that way you're giving them an opportunity. Okay, they're going to have time to watch it. And then you both have an agreed upon time to follow up. So that is best practice for three-way calls. I know TJ and Kelly are rocking these out like crazy in their team. I know Hillary Patzer, she used me for a three-way call with a guy that she barely knew, but she did a phenomenal job with just, kind of reconnecting. We talked about his life, what it looks like, and there was some humor in there, but really, and then she did send him a tool after that, and she enrolled him the following day. Okay, so you guys, and she did, before we got off, I made sure that they had their follow-up phone call set, right? It was 3 p.m. That next day, okay? So that's so important, you guys. Use these, okay? They're so underutilized. All right, social media. How is everyone doing on social media? We talked about just what a powerful tool, you guys, that social media can be in really just growing your business. You hear all the time, right, that network marketing is the business of the 21st century. And one of the reasons why that is so true is because of the power of social media, right? We are able to connect with people in all reaches of, the world, the United States, right? You can stay in contact with people that you probably otherwise would have lost touch with. So it's so powerful to leverage that and utilize that. It also can be a huge time saver and a great way to leverage your time. So if you're already, like I know many of you are, working full-time jobs, juggling families, other obligations, right? You don't always have time to be meeting with individuals face-to-face for coffee, every single day, right? That's not realistic. So if you're waiting for that, to have those one-on-one meetings, it's going to slow your business down. I am a huge fan of personal meetings, meeting at the coffee shop, belly to belly. I love that. But the reality is, if you wait for those, you guys, it will slow you down, okay? So there's so many connections that can be made through social media or initial contacts made that way or over the phone or Zoom meetings like this because, let's face it, people are busy. People's schedules are crazy. And if you're always trying to wait for that perfect time when you both can line up sitters or you both, can get off work or you can both whatever, right? It's going to slow down. So leverage social media. Now, one of the most powerful ways to do that is being consistent in posting, right? So we talked about the 10-4-1 rule. And what I really want to dive in tonight is a little bit further on the social media front, okay? So, and this is gonna make it so much easier for you if this is an area that's not super comfortable for you, or you've struggled with, or you're not always sure what to post, or maybe you're like a once a week poster, where you're like, oh, I don't know how I'm gonna do, twice per day, or even, once per day. So this is really going to help you guys in getting clear on what you should be posting, what your messaging should be. Okay, so that's what I want to talk about tonight, is really just establishing your brand. Or for the, for you, if you're brand new, this is probably new. So you're establishing your brand. Or for those of you who've been doing this a while, maybe you're expanding your brand, or really, getting more clear on what it is that you're trying to convey, or, send messages about on social media. Okay. So basically, you guys, your social media page, that is like your storefront, right? So people all over the world, or, all over, can see your Facebook wall, right? And they might scroll through it. So what if they looked at your Facebook wall today? What would they know about you, or what would they think you are about based on your posts on social media, right? So that's really what, honestly, you guys, this is really, it's the reality of our society nowadays. People going for job interviews, I guarantee that they are trying to find their social media pages, seeing if they're professional, looking to see what they're all about, if it aligns with the company's values. So, we live in a social media world where a lot of that stuff, a lot of our life is put out there. And so this is a time for you to self-check, right? Are you putting stuff out there that you'd be proud of, right? That aligns with who you are, what you want to attract, right? So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Okay. So I want to take just a couple minutes here, grab, a piece of pen, or a piece of paper and a pen if you don't have one in front of you already, and just jot these down. Okay. So the first question I want you to write about, and I'm just going to set a timer here for a minute, is what are you passionate about? Just go ahead and write. Just free writing. Don't overthink this, right? What are you passionate about? What makes you excited? Just write. All right. So as you're writing that, maybe it's family, friends, travel, photography, food, wine, whatever it is, beer. Maybe you're a beer connoisseur. Okay. So what are you passionate about? Next question. What are you passionate about in terms of isogenics or related to isogenics? Okay. All right. So you all should have, a list of some of the things you're passionate about, your interests, right? Maybe you are an avid hiker, or you love to get outdoors, or you like to camp, or you like to, go travel to international foreign countries, whatever that is for you, whatever your passions are. Now I would love for you to take a look at your list and narrow it down to your top 5 passions, right? What are you about? What are you most passionate about? And it's okay to have lots of passions, right? And be super excited about it, but narrow it down to your top 5. And within that top 5, at least one of your top 5 should be something related to isogenics, okay? So narrow it down. Just take a minute here, look through what you already wrote down, and narrow it down to your top 5. All right, so as you guys are narrowing down your list, if anyone would like to share, just go ahead and write it in the chat function here, your top 5. I'd love to hear from some of you what those are. But the beauty of this is, you guys, we are all unique and different, right? So with this exercise, you guys, getting clear on what your passions are, what you're about, that is going to make it so much easier for you to know, like, hey, if I'm going to be posting, twice per day, every single week, then these are my topics. These are my themes. This is what I'm about, right? So your posts should basically be about those 5 things, right? Yeah, you might sprinkle in a few of your other passions here and there, but you want your messaging to be consistent, right? So that way people know what you're about. And, maybe you are like the queen of clean eating and healthy recipes, right? So you sprinkle those on your Facebook page now and again, and then all of a sudden people start knowing, like, gosh, if I need a healthy recipe, I'm going to go look at Kelly Schroff-Nagel's page, right? Because she's got a whole album of clean meals for busy families on the go, right? So people start following that. They start looking at that. And then Kelly might make a power post about Isagenix, and those people who are following her recipes might see that and be intrigued by that, okay? So what are you about? All right, we've got some on here. We've got God, family, wellness, mother of 4, serving others, amazing. Derek, his passions are family, fishing, Wednesday video meetings with Ryan and Heidi, awesome. Christy, family, friends, boot camp, nutrition, positivity, inspiring others. Kelly, family, healthy meals, helping others, and humor. Awesome, you guys. Okay, so these themes, you guys, are what you're about, okay? And if you, I'm not going to take a ton of time on here, but this is what I want you to do this week, is get super clear on this, okay? Because this is honestly your brand, right? What you are passionate about, what you are all about is your brand, okay? So these are 3 more questions to really dial it down, okay? What am I known for? Right? So if someone, if you were to ask a friend, or if someone were to go look at your page, right? And you're super consistent what you're posting, what do you think you're known for that people would look to you? Or maybe if you're not super consistent with your social media page or your postings, what do you want to be known for? All right, next one. What do I stand for? And last one, what am I against? All right, so as you're doing this, you guys, so, some of the things I wrote down that I stand for, right? I stand for my faith. I stand for opportunities. I stand for uniting families. I stand for positivity, right? I stand for women empowering women, right? So lifting each other up. What am I against? I'm against negativity. I'm against, just small-mindedness. That's the kind of stuff, right? So when you get clear on these, you guys, when you get clear on your 5 top passions, you get clear on what you're known for or what you want to be known for, and what you stand for, that's really when you're going to be clear on your brand, right? Who you are and the brand that the image you want to portray to the people. Because honestly, you guys, you can be whoever you want to be on social media, but I want my social media page to be authentic, and I want it to be true to who I am, what I'm passionate about, and I want to convey that to people, okay? So this is really going to help you if you take some time to get clear on this. This is really going to help you know that all your posts, you guys, the 10-4-1 rule, 10 posts per week should be about your passions, right? Maybe they're funny, maybe they're loving, maybe they're activities you're doing, maybe it's your lifestyle, maybe it's something inspiring, right? So those 10 posts should be your passions, who you are, what you're all about. 4 posts per week should be somewhat related to Isagenix, right? Maybe it's an awesome Transformation Tuesday, a before and after. Maybe it is how you're using Isagenix in your lifestyle, right? It's, crazy hectic morning. You've got your superfood nutrition on the go. Thank goodness. You don't know what you do without it, whatever, right? And then 1 is your power post. So maybe it's your personal experience with Isagenix. Maybe you're getting a little vulnerable, right? Vulnerability is okay, right? That's a good thing, because a lot of times when you get a little vulnerable, you're letting people see like an authentic side of you that really resonates and hits home with other people. And that's really the ultimate goal, you guys, is if you can inspire someone, you can help someone a little bit by being a little vulnerable and, just showing that to people. Honestly, that's really when you're going to notice a huge difference in how people respond to you, how, they start messaging you, or how, that they see you because they see you as a real person. Okay. So that's really what that power post is for. So when you're consistent, you guys, in showing what your passions are over and over and over again, that's what you're going to become known for. That's what people are going to look for. Okay. So the more clear you get on that, the easier it is to come up with posts. Okay. So for me, I know that, we know what the peak posting times are, right? It's between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. It's between 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. when people are on their lunch breaks. And then it's at night, right? Between 8 and 9 p.m. typically. So if we can post at those times, we know we're going to get the most traffic, right? I know I personally am not always inspired at those times, right? So if you have you're feeling super inspired, you've got a great idea for a post, go ahead and post it if you want to, but jot it down, right? Or type it up quick, or save it in your phone so that you want to make your power post Sunday night, and now you've got your material on hand ready to go for that power post because it's true to you, it's authentic to you, you're feeling it at a moment when you felt inspired, and you're going to share it at a time when it's going to reach the most people. So go ahead and do that. Honestly, go ahead and do it. When you're feeling inspired, jot down those ideas, and those will be ideas for posts, at times when it's going to get the most traction. Okay. Some of the things I do, screenshot quotes you see, or Pinterest, right? Things that make you feel inspired, or, make you want to do something, right? And go ahead and share those exact quotes if you want to. Or what I like to do sometimes is, I like this, but I want to make it my own, right? So maybe I speak a little bit of my truth into that quote and it becomes my own, but it's a great way to generate ideas on what you want to talk about. So that's another great tool. Let's see. So when you're posting about your passions, right, this should raise your energy a little bit, right? It should raise your vibes a little bit. If you feel like, it's becoming work, it's arduous, it's ugh, right? Then it's probably not your passion, right? So you need to rethink that a little bit. If you're a mom, right, there's so many funny things that your kids say or do, and maybe it's a hashtag mommy moment, right? And that's, one of your themes. For me, I know that's one of my themes is my kids, right? I'm a mom. I love it. So one of my things is my kids, my family. But just, another thing is, healthy eating or clean eating. So a hashtag I like to use a lot is fuel good to feel good, right? So, that's another one. But so if you think, what did I do? And this is too, you guys, as you're growing your business, I know a lot of you on here are saying you love helping other people. You like seeing other people achieve their goals, positivity, helping others. you know, we're all in this, you guys, to help other people, inspire other people along your own journey. And so one of the ways that you can really showcase that is by showing how you're helping other people, right? So maybe you know, how did you work your business today? And, you know, what activities did you do to really grow your business? And when you think about that, what one, you know, got you most excited or got you most inspired or got, you know, raised your energy a little bit more? Post about that, right? Because people recognize that. They see it, you know, people want to be a part of other people creating things, right? When they see someone who's doing stuff, they're creating things, they're excited, they've got this great energy, other people want to be a part of that. That's contagious, right? So share that. Share what gets you excited about growing this business. Honestly, you guys, you're going to become an influencer by being true to what you're passionate about and being consistent about that. And that's when people start looking at you as, you know, other moms might look to me as an influencer on, you know, topics related to whatever, right? Being a mom or, you know, clean eating for families or whatever, right? So what is it that you want to become known for? What's true to you? What's authentic to you? What gets you excited about sharing on social media, okay? Just real quick, you guys, some don'ts, right? There are some don't do's on social media. Don't complain, right? There's times we have bad days, right? We have crazy mornings. I know for me, it happens. And if you want to post about it, fine, but spin it in a positive light. You can make it funny, right? I have, you know, some funny ones that I've done in the past where it's like, and honestly, it helps you lighten your own mood when you like take a spin on it where you're like, woo, you know, like crazy morning. Thank goodness that, you know, I still have, you know, 23 and a half hours to, you know, make my day great, right? Whatever, right? So, but don't complain. Don't do politics. Don't do politics. I know you might be passionate about it, but when you're posting political stuff on your page, you guys, you instantly like cut your audience, your, you know, your prospects down by 50%, right? So I would say, you know, because especially at this time, I feel like our country is so divided on that issue. I would say don't do politics on your page. You can do what you stand for, right? So, you know, maybe you are whatever, but just don't do politics. I would avoid it if you can. Keep it authentic, keep it real, keep it who you are. Be a little vulnerable. That's okay. That's good to do. So yes, that's what I wanted to talk about, you guys, is just really establishing and expanding your brand so that it makes being consistent on social media more easy, less intimidating if it's new to you. And that's really what this is about, is it's a platform for you to share with people what you're passionate about and, you know, really just become off, you know, just showcasing your life in an authentic light. Okay. So, that's what I want to talk about, you guys, tonight. So as we went through those self-checks, going into this week, you guys, rock out your launch parties. If you don't have one scheduled yet, I know a lot of you on here posted that you had some upcoming this week, which is awesome. We've got next Tuesday, next Monday, Saturday, phenomenal. But you guys, get those dates scheduled, rock them out. It doesn't have to be like a room of 50 people. It can be like you and 3 others, whatever, right? Get your launch party scheduled, do a 3-way call, like make that a goal, put that on your daily, like on your tracker for the week. Like maybe that's your goal. Like you're going to do, you know, if you're brand new, you're going to reach out to an upline leader to do a 3-way call with you, and you're going to have a qualified prospect on that 3-way call. If you've been in this business a while, maybe you're going to exercise your leadership skills by reaching down into your team and saying, hey, you know, this is my availability. I want to do a 3-way call for you to help you grow your team. You know, let's get some people on there. I will help you talk to them. That's, you know, like that's what this is about, you guys, is just developing yourself as a leader and being so consistent in growing your business. Okay. So daily tracker, expand your list, when you're connecting, self-check on your listening skills, right? Who's doing most of the talking? Reaching out to new people. If you need help with this, please post in our group. But what's working, what's not? Launch parties, we already said that, and social media. So I really want you to get clear on what you're passionate about. Narrow it down to your top 5. Those should be the resounding themes to your Facebook posts going forward, okay? So have a great night, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you so much for being a part of our Take Action Academy. Finish up this week strong. We are going to be launching our next Take Action Academy on Wednesday, March 8th, okay? So we're going to have 2 weeks, and then we're going to start our next one. So the goal for that, you guys, is that you get new people on there, right? So maybe you have a new business builder who, wants to dive into this. Get them excited about the opportunity, but get them plugged into our next Take Action Academy so that they can really hit the ground running, okay? Any feedback that you would love to share with us, or topics that you would like to see included in the next Take Action Academy, please share that with us. Either send it by private message, feel free to post it in the Facebook group for Take Action Academy. But this is for you guys to grow your businesses, to help your team members grow their businesses. So if there's a topic that you would love to see us cover, please share, okay? So this is for you guys. You're a part of this. You're a part of our team. Many of you are leaders in our team. So please share. We would love to do this. Casey, thank you for the feedback. Derek, thank you for the feedback. But yes, so we hope that we have a great group of people ready to rock out the next Take Action Academy on March 8th. And stay plugged into the team page, you guys, through this next week, because this is really where we're going to be self-checking. Finishing out this week strong. If you've slipped a little bit, it happens. But finish up strong this week with your daily tracker, with those income-producing activities, and have a fabulous week, everybody.